everybody. Welcome to Girls Run These Worlds for episode 3 of our Dragon Age game, All Templars Are Bastards. I hope you're all doing well, and we're ready to have a fun session today, maybe with more NPC potential smoochins, who knows. Before we get going, I have a little content warning to read out to you guys, and then we're going to introduce ourselves and then get going. So the world in which this game is set is one that's known to many. It is a world where there are a great many injustices and wrongs which need fought against. As such, there are topics that will come up which include oppression, fantasy racism, prejudices against mages, and imbalances of power which often become violent. We recognize that in telling the story of oppression and genocide against groups of peoples reflects the many tragic atrocities that are occurring around the world as we speak. While we feel that the stories of the fight against oppressive rule are important to tell, the health and happiness of our viewers are also crucial. As such, it is important that you all know the content of the story we will be telling here so that you have the agency to choose either to watch along with us as we tell the story of a fight against such powers, but equally you can turn off the story should you need to in order to preserve your own comfort. The group and I have discussed at great length our lines and veils when approaching this content, and active use of safety tools will be getting used. We would urge that you also take care of your own comfort levels too. That being said, let us now tell a story of hope in dire times and of the fight for justice. To start us off with our introductions, I am Emma, or Hamalu on the internet. I use she, they pronouns, and I am your storyteller for today's session. I'm going to let my players introduce themselves. We have a slightly different order, so we can do Ella at the end. So if we do Tarn and Val, and then Mary, and then Alice, and then Ella. Tell us who you are and who you were playing, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, I am Torin. My pronouns are she, they. I am playing Genevieve Depro, whose pronouns are she, her, and she is absolutely ready to cause chaos in every way.
Hello, friends. I am Val. I use any and all pronouns, and I play Theowen today. And Theowen's a little elf mage from Kirkwall who uses she, her pronouns. And she's the victim of chaos.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mary. My pronouns are she, her. Today, I am playing Eviana. Her pronouns are she, her. She is our little blood mage, Healy entropy mage, who's just trying not to fall out of trees. That's the main goal.
Hi guys, my name is Alice, they them pronouns. I play Floor, who also uses they them pronouns. Floor is our Tevinter mage, coming from a Leighton family that is a necromancer, and because they're a necromancer, they're very awkward with actual living people.
Hello, I'm Ella. My pronouns are she, her. I am playing Matty. Matty's pronouns are also she, her. She is an apostate and a spirit healer. And mostly her vibe is extremely overworked ER nurse who doesn't get paid by anyone.
The vibes are immaculate. Yes, this is our crew. We are delighted to have Ella back with us and letting you all be introduced to Matty. I cannot wait. So we are diving into session 3. World fell away then, misty in memory, cross veil and into the valley of dreams. A vision of all worlds, waking and slumbering, spirit and mortal to me appeared. Last session, we got to see our characters work as a group. With some banter over breakfast, Genevieve went to acquire some poisons and spoke of her plans to prank other people. Theo got stressed, typical, and went to decompress and was brought to do some archery practice. Aviana made a list and asked Flora to accompany her on some shopping. Trinkets and comfort items were purchased, and Flora managed to acquire some rare items to assist in their less than conventional magics. The group were then given extra information about their mission and asked to also bring this acquired lyrium to a camp of runaway mages sheltering just outside of Starkhaven, a task they agreed to complete. Theo asked her closest friend Craig what he was doing with his life and commented on how sweaty he was. How glistening he was. And she asked him to accompany them to deal with other Templars. Genevieve had a walk with Griffin and asked him to accompany them also. He rather smoothly also took her to see some nugs. Viana made a point of avoiding the suggestion of bringing Reagan, the assassin and poisoner, along with them, but this attempt was thwarted when people proceeded to then suggest that he come along. The group got kitted out by the quartermaster of the organization, the Tevinter rogue Harry. Flora hung back to ask him to provide some extra hands on the mission, gave him cake, accused him of being bitter, and was told that he still tastes good despite the bitterness. Now we're going to be focusing our camera away from this crew and look in on the member who has been absent from the guild for the past couple of days. So, as the camera pans in to Matty, whereabout are you right now?
I'm in Darktown. I am covered in like various fluids and looking completely furious, like all kinds of bodily fluids. There's for sure some urine in there, there's some vomit, there's some blood. Like just generally just like like the only part of her that is like extremely clean are her hands and like forearms, which are like meticulously scrubbed and like are almost kind of red from scrubbing. And you know, her hair is like this short, choppy black haircut that like has clearly just been done with like a knife, a piece of glass, who knows. It's kind of deliberately awful. It used to be pretty bad, and then she met Genevieve, and now it's bad on purpose. But like it's all just like she hasn't washed it for days. She's got like massive bags under her eyes, various like bruises and scrapes, and she just looks so tired and pissed off, but she's just kind of stomping like through Darktown to like the next thing that she has to do.
So Darktown is an interesting place to stomp through because sometimes you encounter puddles that are questionable.
Yeah.
But you manage to avoid one. An interesting thing that you have now learned to stop questioning, where you're about to step in one and then something seems to almost pull you back and your foot hesitates and you manage to step around it as you were heading towards a spot where you know a few people that are without a home that are staying here, and you know that there is a woman who has 3 children, one of whom is really quite young and had a pretty bad cough. You helped give her something to treat it about a week ago, and you know that you're going to need to check in to see if they need a refill of something and just to see how the little one is getting on. So you are approaching, you have that exhausted feeling in your bones and weary and just covered in everything that Darktown has to offer. But perhaps you have do you have a game face that you put on when encountering
Yeah,
like
for
this?
sure. So I think that there's like almost a kind of comedy moment where like so on the way as she's stomping, like Maddie herself is like a very like strident, like she always steps quite heavily, and but as you say, there's this kind of invisible presence that is kind of bumping her out of the way of the various messes and like dog messes left by Mabari and bird crap left by all the birds that come in here and just everything. And it looks almost like a slightly like drunken hungover dance where she keeps kind of like wobbling like backwards and forwards. Like anyone looking at her just assumes that she's inebriated or exhausted or both. Neither would be unusual for her. But like as she kind of gets closer, she kind of pauses, takes a deep breath, scrubs like aggressively at the various like messes that are on her clothes, choose a little bit of elf root, like more as a pick-me-up than anything, like just like a little bit like as a snack, and then it's like and as she breathes out, I don't think this is mechanical, and humbly let me know if you want this to be different, but like spirit healers generally like have a bit of a like healing aura thing, like it's not mechanical, but they like it's a thing that they kind of do. And I think that like Maddie like relaxes, and as she does, like the air around her just kind of shimmers like a mirage for a moment, and like nearby this like slightly like harassed looking pigeon that had been like ruffling its feathers kind of like settles, and she kind of just takes a deep breath and then kind of like walks a little bit more slowly and kind of gracefully towards the last few steps towards this family. And when she gets there, big, like, bright smile on her face, which some of her companions, I think Flora and Genevieve, have literally never seen, and just is kind of like, so I'm wondering, has anyone got any better at Wicked Grace? Because I do seriously need a partner to practice against. Like, I keep losing money, and it's a real problem.
As you enter, you can see that there's a few people in this area, not just the mother with the young children, and there is a teenage boy who is a bit rough around the edges, but seems to always keep the people that live in this particular corner of Darktown going. He smirks and smiles as he sees you entering, and it is actually he's called Roger, and he is the middle child of this woman. He's maybe about 7. Will immediately turn around when you say that, and like lifts a hand up and starts bouncing on the spot on the balls of his feet. Like, me. I was taught how to play.
See, I have a feeling I'm going to lose another copper piece, and yet I can't resist. It's a real problem. You should ask your mother about it. See, this is why you shouldn't play with cards. But like as Maddie gets closer, this kind of like healing aura around her kind of like emanates outwards, and I think maybe we like see a couple of people like relaxing a bit. It's not going to do anything permanent. Again, it's like this isn't a mechanical thing, but just people's like aches ease off a little bit, and they just like feel a little less tense.
Calming presence. I would like to think that there's a scent to it almost that is somewhere between like elf root and like aloe vera, you know, like that's that vaguely herbal kind of smell that's just kind of soothing. It's calming, you know. So they do, and you can see the mum looking up at you. Her name's Orana, and she kind of breathes out her own little sigh of relief, you assume, at seeing that you were present, and gives an understanding smile as you entertain her middle child.
I wink at her and kind of you know, like start laying out cards for Roger, and as this is happening, you know, Maddie is also like taking a look at the kid who's been sick. Like there's some stuff that she can kind of observe from a distance, and that she wants to see how the kid is behaving when she's not like tensed up in front of like the doctor, basically, and kind of watching the way that the kid is moving around and how she's breathing, and like how they're doing, whilst also kind of keeping up conversation with Roger, and being like, ooh, is that like a 2 of serpents? Ooh, do you know, some people say that if you draw a 2 of serpents in the first round, it means that you're a liar.
I'm not a liar, Mom, I swear. And she gives like a little laugh and kind of waves him off. Be like, I know, dear, I know. Sure you're not. And we'll look at you and then be like, that is just speculation. That is a speculation. Nice.
That is a speculation, and I mean, I'd hate for you to surrender your card. Like, obviously it's a card you've got to keep in your hand, right? Okay.
Yeah. And you can see that he knows the basics, perhaps not the full extent of how to play this game, but is keen and just likes you know, feeling very grown up and being able to play with you. I would like, just for entertainment's sake, if you will, do you want to roll gambling for me?
yeah, sure. I definitely don't have a gambling focus, so which one is it?
It's just communication then.
Cool. All right. Let's give it a go then. Right.
You could always do something like they've got Legerdemain, which is like the sleight of hand and dexterity for, like, you know.
I've got a focus in deception, but I don't have a focus in Legerdemain, so that's okay. I'll just go a straight communication roll, see how we do.
Yeah, he'll be easy to beat. He's just a youngin'.
He's a baby.
Yeah.
Cool. And then so roll description. Do I put 3d6 in here?
Yes, actually, if you just click on the word communication, it should just automatically roll it for
Oh,
you.
cool! I thought I had to build the
Yeah,
role.
like,
This is so clever.
hey,
Wow.
yeah. You got an 11, which is a basic pass, which is easy. That's basically what you were needing for beating this child. So it is up to you if you want to let him believe that he's won, because it seems like his grasp on the rules is basic. So you could
Oh,
convince him that he's got some sort of super secret move that he didn't
I
even know was a thing.
I mean, and I am happy to do another role for this if you want me to. What
Yeah.
I would like to do is like cheat, because a big part of Wicked Grace is cheating.
Yes.
And I would like to cheat so that he wins. It's like
Yep.
so, the winning in this is like, as I understand it. I spent way too long learning about Wicked Grace. Is like you
Uh-huh.
essentially want as many cards as possible of the same suit,
Yeah.
and different suits are more powerful. And so I'm gonna like swap his serpents for my roses, and then kind of turn up my two of serpents, and be like, you know what they always say, people who have two of serpents in their hand are a liar.
Oh, does that mean I win?
That means you win.
Does that mean you're a liar?
Who knows?
I'll need to remember that for next time. Mom, I won. She's just like, kid. Throughout this time, you can see that the child, which is maybe about like a year and a half, still clearly has the remnants of a cough, but it is not nearly so bad as it was sounded when you first came. It's for the most part, its breathing is perfectly fine. And the mom's just kind of like holding it where it's like leaning on one arm, and she's just kind of like rubbing at its back. So it seems like the treatment that you'd given it has worked. You may want to give them a little bit more of what they had before, just to kind of see out the end stage of this. But the child seems fine.
Good. Like I think I probably do want to like just like now we've had enough time for the kid to like relax enough, rather than just kind of me like arriving and then immediately doing the scary thing. Like
Yeah.
now we've had enough time to kind of relax. They're gonna come over to Arana and the kid, and be like, hey little one, do you mind if I come a little bit closer? I'm gonna kind of look at Arana as well, because I don't know if this kid is old enough to communicate, but
not necessarily in many words, but seems to be drawn to you. There's something about that aura of yours that seems to be putting it at ease. If you reach out with your hand to go to it, it's going to reach out to try and hold on to your hands.
So I let the kid like hold on to my little finger, and then like as that happens, I kind of smile, reassuringly at both the kid and at Arana, who I don't want to unsettle, and I shut my eyes and just let both myself and a close friend of mine kind of do like a little check, like just to make sure that there's nothing kind of deeper or lingering or anything that's going to be like scarring. I'm happy to do a roll for this if you would like.
Yes, I would say do that roll. You're looking for creation magic.
Would it be creation or spirit?
Oh, spirit. Sorry, yeah. I don't know why.
Cool. Alrighty. Okay, yes, I've got it. So I would click magic, and then I would.
You can click on the word.
I can click on
the focus. If you click on the focus, it does it with the focus.
Thank you so much.
Magical ability.
Well, I got 2 rolls. One was a good one, but it was just my magic, and then the other was bad.
Fine, because the first one was your roll, and we'll just assume that you had your focus in it. So it's a +2, which is even better because that's a 19. And it has stun points. I would say that the process of this stunt is that as you kind of close your eyes, you still feel your mind opening up, and a presence almost from within you and around you, reaching out just to kind of interact with this child and its own spirit as well. Do you have a name for your friend?
I think their name is Hope.
So you kind of feel that presence, and it's like opening up your other senses while your eyes are closed. And you can almost feel inside where the lungs are. When first you'd seen this child, you could feel that the clogging, almost like a heat and a pressure, and you could sense it within the child, and now you can definitely feel that it is being alleviated. There's still some there. You can tell that it's still quite phlegmy, but it feels like whatever burden this child had has mostly been lifted. And I would say whatever grasp the rest of it has, you kind of feel that essence extending from you, almost just taking it and just lifting it out in a way. And you can hear the child cough a little bit as it happens. But you know that in that effort, you've just helped facilitate and ease along the end stretch of the recovery from the cough that this child had. You can feel your own essence and the essence of your friend lifting that burden from this child.
Lovely. Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Maddie kind of relaxes, and for the first time since she like climbed out of whatever drainage hole she was in, presumably to help some like coterie idiot who'd like gotten an arrow stuck in her foot, like which is why she was covered in fluids in the first place. She like her shoulders drop a little bit. She always carries like a lot of tension in her body, but she has this kind of like loose leathers, not like armor, but like just generally practical clothes. But she like relaxes a bit, pulls back, smiles like at Arana again, but like this time in kind of a clearly like confident, relieved, and like reassuring way, and says,
"Yeah,
they're gonna be just fine. Here is," and she kind of like goes, she has this like utility belt of like medicines, like, and she kind of like opens one and she gets out this like sachet of tea, and she's like, okay, so this it's just spindleweed and honeysuckle, and it'll be just add some honey to it if you can. I have a little jar here, just hot water ideally, twice a day, and then this, she gets something else out, is poultice. It's just a bit of elf fruit on it, but if you kind of rub it on the chest and the top of the back, that should help a lot. Everything's going to be fine. You're going to be fine. And if there's any issue, you know where to find me.
And she'll kind of reach out just to like take your hands in one of hers. Thank you for this. I really worried, just with everything that's happened over the past couple of years, that we were just going to be left. And I'm really glad that you've stepped up. It's been such a relief down here.
You know what they say, when the maker opens a door, Andraste sends someone to actually do something about it. You take care of yourself, and I'm sure I'll see you very soon. And Maddie just kind of leaves with a bit more of a spring in her step now. I guess heads back to what?
As you're heading off, you will hear the patter of footsteps behind you, and you can see that Roger has approached. I made you this. And he's gonna hold up, and it's like a little, it's almost like a stick figure that it's perhaps been whittled and painted, but like it's been whittled and painted by a 7-year-old, but there's something quite charming about it, actually. I know Mom can't pay you, but I just thought, you could have that. It's meant to be you.
Can I Hubaloo, and again, very happy to do a roll. Can I do like what I want to do is like a little illusion magic, not like a spell, but just like a little mirage. Can I roll to try and do something like that?
I'll allow that. Yep, you can absolutely do a roll, but I'm happy because like we have the set spells that serve a particular purpose, but mages are able to do a lot more than just that, and I'm always happy to. So I'm down for it.
Okay.
So you can roll for just the flair of it. It's going to happen anyway, but it is up to you. If it's one of your schools of magic, you can use your focus. Otherwise, it's just a straight magic roll.
Yeah, okay, I'll give this a go. Okay. Oh, how did I do? Oh,
14.
So tense. Oh, good. That's
Pretty
okay.
good. Yeah.
All right. So I think like I take it from him and I kind of glance around to check for any unwanted eyes. But I also think that enough people down here, especially know that I at least have a little bit of magic, because I think like whenever you get to a more complicated wound, like
Yeah.
a complex fracture or internal bleeding, it's like either you get magic help or you die.
Yeah,
And
the
so,
people around
like,
here are very much of the opinion of I saw nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah. So I glance around to make sure there's no outsiders down here, but like believing myself to be safe. As I touch the stick figure, like light kind of races up it, and like little buds and shoots and flowers grow from it in this like active creation magic to kind of flesh it out and give it like a little bit more clothing and a little bit like of like hair, like in like little petals and stuff.
Yeah.
And just like make it just this little like living little person. And yeah.
Wow. That's so cool.
Well, it wouldn't exist without you.
Do you think I could do that someday?
Maybe. It's kind of luck of the draw. So it depends on what hand you've been dealt. But even if you can't, I'm sure you will always find friends who can do it with you.
Okay. I really like to be able to do that when I'm older.
And I think like, you know, Maddie's face just gets very dark, but she kind of like reaches out and ruffles his hair. Go back to your mom.
Okay. Bye. You like scamper off.
And Maddie like very carefully kind of like tucks the figure in like kind of the chest pocket of her like jacket. And then like starts walking again. And as she does, like her expression kind of shudders off, like her shoulders kind of come up a little bit. She becomes more tense. She strides with more purpose, and like all of the lightness kind of disappears, and that kind of healing aura just like sucks back inside her until she's just kind of like this grim face in the shadows.
As you're walking and you feel yourself feeling particularly weary, you have been doing this for a few days now in a row without taking terribly many breaks. There's been quite a lot needed of you, especially down here. And it is in that moment of just feeling, you know, when you feel it right to your bones, how tired you are. You just kind of hear a voice that is almost as if it's just behind one of your ears, perhaps just slightly inside your own head. You've been pushing yourself too much, you know.
Yeah, well, no one else is going to do that. I mean, you're definitely not, so I would say that you have been less than helpful the last 3 days.
I've been doing my best.
Sorry. And I appreciate it. But listen, you and I both know that if we don't do it, no one will, so
I know.
the choice is do it or not. And in that case, it's gonna be a choice of action.
You cannot pour from an empty cup, Matty.
I'm not empty yet.
Perhaps you need a little rest and some cake. I know that makes you smile.
Does this mean we have to see the Orlesian?
Only if the Orlesian is where the cake is.
She normally is.
Well, may I grant you enough grace to handle it properly.
May you grant me enough grace to handle it in the way that is appropriate for a matcha talking to an Orlesian.
And as you say that, you get in, climb up one of the ladders that will bring you up into the low town area. To say that as you get up there, there's fresh air. There's certainly air, which there's not a lot of in Darktown. So that muggy, oppressive feeling has cleared a little, and there's a slight breeze, but it smells like, you know, the Kirkwall Lowtown Dock area smell, which is perhaps not the
hot sewage and fish. Yeah.
And it is perhaps that sudden assault on your senses that sort of snaps you out of the mental connection, and you're able to head on back to the safe house, the base of operations for your little group. As you enter, do you have a particular priority that you're going to be handling first when you get in through the door?
I think the first thing that Maddie always does when she gets back is goes to check that Theowen is alive and fine. So I think like she just wants to I don't know that she necessarily wants to have a conversation with Theowen. She just wants to see her and establish that she's fine.
Coincidentally, Theowen is in the mess hall trying to bake a cake.
So
may not be fine.
yeah, you're having a bit of look around. You can see there's a couple people milling around, and the first person that you see of your group is indeed Theowen. You can see the back of Theowen, and the smell of cake being made. Theowen, what kind of cake are you trying to make now?
It's still, there's a whole bunch of lemons. It's not, she's like, the square, the lemon square thing that was not there. It's because she went for, my cat's trying to get up and crawl over the bed. You okay there, buddy? You gonna make it? Okay, sorry. He's old. I have to watch him. So it's just lemon squares. That was, an S tier baking kind, or more of an A tier. So she needed to go down to a D tier, which is cake. So she is attempting cake.
Just like a sponge cake.
Yeah, like a little sponge,
Yeah.
little lemon sponge cake. Yeah, with some cream cheese on the top. But if that's a thing she could do, she doesn't know yet. She hasn't tried. She's trying now.
Why don't we find out? I believe
adventures in baking.
I can't remember if we went for a dexterity or cunning for the initial baking, because it's figuring out how to make it in the first place, which I guess
we did research, remember?
Oh yeah.
I researched how to make it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sure.
we did research.
Sure. Let's do that. See how you're doing.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. That's respectable. 14 and a 3-point stunt. Listen, going to D tier was clearly what Theowen needed. So it seems to be going pretty well. The mix has come together, and it looks like what it says it should be looking like. And you can get it into the cake. Get that into the oven.
I put a little salt, but not too much. You still have to put salt in cake, by the way.
So you're maybe just dealing with the icing as Matty will come in and see the back of it. You're aware, Theowen, of the presence of another. I always say that mages kind of have an uncanny knack of knowing when there are other mages in the room, because there's just something. It's like the ozone taste in the air when someone that taps into the veil is beside you. So you can tell there's another mage in the room, and you're able to see Matty arriving.
Although I will also add that, in addition to the sixth sense thing, Maddie stinks. She just
that's exactly what I was about to say. There's this pause as the smell overwhelms her senses for a second, and just leaving her hands in the air, just slowly turns to look over her shoulder at you. Maddie?
So Maddie has these dark brown, almost black eyes, dark brown, almost black, choppy hair, covered in various cuts and bruises and scars and stains, and it just big, deep under eye bags, and then just is always scowling, and so you can't really tell. I think Theowen, it's up to you really, Val, but it definitely to the average observer, Maddie looks very pissed off. But she just kind of comes up and is like, who decided that it was okay to let you near an open fire?
We'll discuss that after you stop smelling like a latrine.
And a skillet! What have you burned yourself? Are you all right? Where did all the lemons come from? Are you allergic to lemons? Do you know if you're allergic to lemons?
I'm not allergic to lemons.
What tree did you go out?
Craig got everything that I needed. No, I don't think you need to seize. Please seize, because your concerns, though warranted and unwarranted, I can't talk to you right now because the smell of things that should not be in this kitchen is overpowering my very sensitive nose, and you need to go take a bath.
I think
Now-
you're gonna use that squared
no, we don't.
No, I need to. No, this is important. So you asked Craig to get you some lemons, and he came back with this many lemons.
I'd like to think that, like,
That's
hearing the name
development.
Craig getting shouted, Craig actually, like, scampers it, comes to the doorway, realizes you're not shouting for him, and then just slowly backed out of the room. So he's gone.
I
He was
like-
there for a moment. The camera pan, the audience can see that he was there, but he's just like, I'm good.
No one else did.
Maddie's head like whips around to the empty doorway, and she just kind of narrows her eyes, and then looks back at Theo and. Okay, and how do we feel about Craig? Is this
Craig?
attention solicited?
Craig is my truest and dearest, closest person. So he
Right,
is my
okay.
friend.
Have
and he
you been
gets
talking
me
to the Elysian
lemons.
about this?
I don't want to talk to you at all because I'm about to vomit in my
Have
cake
you been
mix.
taking advice from the Elysian
I'm
about
about
this?
to-
Okay, all right, fine, that's fine. Okay. Well, I will go and do some damage control. Maybe you just move away from the hot things and the sharp things and the heavy things.
I know how to make. It's not like I'm out here with my nipples out. It's fine.
Your nipple. Who's been here with their nipples out? Has someone been showing you their nipples? Did you invite them to show you their nipples? What?
You're still talking and you still smell.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're okay.
I'm perfectly fine. I won't be if you don't leave.
And like just for that, like Maddie kind of like scrapes a bit of sludge off part of her arm and just flicks it in Theowen's
Just an absolute terror of a scream that might also send Craig running back.
Yeah, Craig just like runs and then like has to like skid to a halt when he enters. Are you okay?
And like
Don't tell at me. Don't tell at me.
I think like Maddie is between Theowen as Craig as Craig gets there because like I'm on my way out, and I think there's just a moment where I just kind of put a hand like really firmly and really heavily on Craig's shoulder, just kind of lean in, like resting most of my body weight on him, and like I'm keeping an eye on you, and I can do worse than stink. And then I just kind of push him to the side and like leave the room.
I just exchange looks with Craig in this moment, and like, what just happened? What is going on?
What did I do wrong?
You didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
It's not you. She flung Darktown on me. Did you smell her? And she thinks I can't be around an oven? I grew up in an alienage. I cooked over open fire sometimes. It's fine. Wish
Well,
people
you
would
know,
stop treating me like a fucking child. Calm yourself, calm yourself. The demons can't hear you if you don't scream.
breathe the square. Breathe the square.
This is cake, not squares.
this-
Breathe the,
I-
I'm just gonna.
okay.
She takes a half a lemon
What?
and just shoves it in her
Rectangle?
face.
If you breathe the rectangle. I don't know which bit needs to be the long bits though, so that you don't pass out. But breathe the just calm. Yeah, I'll did it get on any of your clothes?
It's like, yes, it's on my clothes.
Do you want me to go and get something for you so that you don't have to I can go grab you something.
Okay.
Okay. Do you need anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay. The cake smells amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I
It
just
smells
have to,
really good.
I should have started at the beginning of the lemon cookbook, not the back, I think.
Yeah. It was a real good purchase, that book, actually, and we've got enough lemons to cook all of it, if we're honest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I will be back.
Thanks,
I'll just and he walks like it's a normal walking pace till he's out of the room and then starts to run so that he's quick for you. Okay. While that's occurring, our other three people, being aware of the fact that you are needing to head off, you may have heard the screeching to announce the arrival of the last remaining Chains of Revenge member, Matty. Who do you think would want to go and debrief? Perhaps a few of you, perhaps all of you.
I think Genevieve would do it for the fun.
Mm,
But actually take care of her. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
yeah. Just looks to the others and be like, I've got this. I'll go and tell. I'll just go.
Oh,
Just
so
I'll
busy. Let me help. I've got this.
Are you sure? Because I can
Oh,
help. if
actually,
you-
Aviana, I have something for you that you need to prepare before we leave.
Oh.
And she'll grab the bag that she got from Hari. Like, we can make it nicer, but it's all like compartments. So you
Oh.
can put everything in organized and put labels on it. I know you like that with your little healy magic. Oh, it's great.
Thank you.
You're welcome, my dear.
This is great.
Yeah.
Uh,
So do that. Make sure we're all good to go. I will go check on the poisons in a minute. I'm sure that he's totally got my wonderful crow's poison. And I will go tell our lovely sister about the mission. I've got this.
okay, just be
Yeah, have
gentle.
fun with
Be
that.
gentle.
It'll be fine. She like skips
If
off.
we hear any more screaming, we'll send someone running. Probably
Okay.
Craig.
She's you know what? I think Craig would be a very good decision. She'll like skip a little bit.
There is an unaccompanied lemon cake apparently based on that screaming.
Oh, I saved someone else from it before. Maybe we just caution. Okay, it's Theowen. We all know. Okay. And she'll just be like walking down the hall going, Matty, oh my dear, wonderful, grumpy friend, where are you?
It's just like elsewhere in the building, Maddie just takes a minute to lean against the wall, pinch the bridge of her nose, count to 10, reach out mentally for hope.
Matty!
Just like hear the word grace. Remember? With grace.
Okay.
With grace.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Oh, Matty, I could smell you before I could see you. Oh, you look terrible. How are you, my friend?
Hello. Hi.
I would kiss you, but you smell terrible. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
That will be for later.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you pointing that out. Have you
I mean, it was fairly obvious.
had a lot of time to file your nails recently? Do your whole
Oh,
skincare
always.
routine?
I've got this down to science, as you know.
It amazes me that all Asians have 16 more hours in the day than the rest of us, but I assume that's just because you're used to having servants.
Actually, it's good planning, which you should try.
Okay. Honestly, most of my planning is about actually doing something for people other than myself. What do
you waste so
want?
much time and energy. You must work smarter, not harder, my dear. You will burn out.
It would be a lot easier to just kill every person that became a problem for me. Unfortunately, I keep them alive.
I mean, that's what everyone else does. But also, if you mess with them, it's even
You
better.
are
And then it
so
lingers in their
badly
mind and
adjusted.
they'll never forget you. Don't be forgettable, my dear.
Okay.
Also,
Sorry.
you stink. So hold on. We have things to do. We can banter later, I promise. Also, I may have left surprises in your room.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let's see if you
All
can
right.
find them before we leave. Because we have to leave, my dear. I'm so sorry. So, we have mission. We're going to go get lyrium from these horrible Templar bastards that you know we love to fuck with. And then we're going to go deliver it to people in Starkhaven. So make sure you are prepared. We're leaving soon.
Wait, we're going to Starkhaven?
Eventually.
To mages in Starkhaven?
Yes. We are going to deliver lyrium to them to help them.
Oh.
See, I knew that you'd be excited. Well, Lisa, I expected a little more excitement. I'm not going to lie.
Picture of excitement right now, for sure. Yeah. No,
well, it's a picture of Sua, but we will work on that.
All agents are indeed famous for their social graces. That subtlety, etiquette, politesse, all of that. Cool. Okay.
Worst.
Fine. Good. Robbing Templars, giving lyrium to mages in Starkhaven. Cool. And I assume we're taking someone who knows how to use a sword and can lift something heavier than what can you hold, like a dagger?
My dear friend Griffin is going to be joining us.
Okay. And he's joining us because he's gonna fight, or because he's gonna sort of tell you how pretty you are?
Both, I hope.
I
mean, why not make time for both? Again, work harder, my dear. Smarter, not harder.
Okay, cool. Well, depending on the nature of surprise that you've left in my room, will really affect how willing I am to provide you your next bomb when you mix up Deathroot with that other really similar looking plant.
I'll
you get
just
that
make sure he goes
little
in,
rash.
just in case it goes bad.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, the
Especially in
last
your
thing I would
bedroll,
want...
my favorite.
Okay. Always a pleasure, Genevieve.
Always. Also, I should warn you. Actually, you know what? It'll be fine.
What?
Au revoir. Good luck. Make sure
No,
you're packed.
no. I can't. See, Genevieve is
Bye.
a rogue.
Have
and
so busy things to do.
I assume that, like, if I try to grab Genevieve, she will duck out of my way with uncanny dexterity, but I still want to try and grab her before she
True.
runs.
I would love to see
Definitely
this.
going to dance about it. Just be like, oh, it'll be fine. No
Mhm.
worries. I'm so sure you've got this handled.
Yeah. I think that's a dex roll off, I would
Yeah.
think.
Okay.
Cool. This is
damn,
gonna
how
go
do I
really well.
focus? Okay. Let me get to here. Hold on.
Did I
Dex.
not do it? I thought I did it.
Oh No. Here's the thing.
Hold on.
Normally,
Oh.
in a
Mhm.
tie, you go with the person whose dragon dice is higher, but you both have 3 with the dragon dice as well.
It's a couples dance.
It really is. There's I would say that she doesn't quite manage to fully grab your arm, but it will slow you down, Genevieve. There's like a moment where you are caught. You slip out of the grasp.
How could I not slip out? You're so gross. Ugh.
I mean, I think that there's a moment, like, and let me know if this, like, works for you, Torin, but, like,
Yeah.
I think you said that, like, Genevieve is, like, dancing out of the way, and I think that, like, Maddie sees that, and I think that there's a level where, like, in the circles we get essentially ballroom dancing classes for the very few mages who are gonna, like, get out again to go be, like, court mages and stuff. We have to know how to deal with court. And so actually Maddie does know, like, Orlesian court dances and stuff, like, she does, like, know this stuff. And so instead of, like, trying to grab you, she moves her arm to, like, catch, like, your hand in that kind of, like, Kaylee, like, square dance kind of moment. She kind of just grabs your arm and, like, interlocks the 2 arms and just holds it for a second. Because I think that also what Genevieve would know is that Maddie ran away specifically from the Starkhaven Circle. And so she kind of holds you for a second, and just, like, it keeps you there with surprising strength and just says, you're not, this isn't a joke, right?
What about?
The Starkhaven.
I think in that moment, you kind of see the poking go away from her face, just like, no, my dear, it is not.
Okay, well, and I let go. If nothing else, I know that I can always trust you to kill people. And with kind of, like, a slightly, like, flustered, stressed, shaken look, Maddie, like, resettles herself and lets you go.
You know, my dear, I do mess with y'all because I want y'all to be able to, not much you, but everyone else, I want to make sure that when you leave my sight, you're going to be fine. And I don't have to worry. But I will pick on you later when you are clean. Also, make sure you go by your room. I promise there's a good gift there for you.
Like, I think just before, like, Genevieve slips off, like, Maddie just kind of, like, smiles. And actually, maybe it is, like, as Genevieve goes, like, it's up to you, Torin, whether or not she hears this. But I think Maddie just kind of says under her breath, like, maybe you remember that the next time that you're bleeding out under my hands.
I'll make sure to still give you a hard time.
All right.
Because I built her to hear everything almost, so I'm just like, but yes, when you return to your room, it's going to be a raspberry, like, mousse with dark chocolate all over it, but it's going to have, like, little tiny daggers everywhere. Like, little plastic daggers.
Oh my god. So much nicer. I was fully expecting itching powder in my bed.
There may or may not also be things like that, but at least there's a nice thing first with, like, little props around it.
Okay.
So that your false sense of security, you feel comfortable, and then you'll get in the bed. Yeah.
No, well, see, I was gonna say, in that case, if this has happened before, like, Maddie just kind of looks at the cake, scowls, and then just kind of, like, carefully picks it up and leaves the room again without touching anything else.
Yeah, because she'll at least leave, like, she doesn't mess around with food. Like, you're gonna be alright with the food. Don't touch anything else yet. And I think honestly, Genevieve is going to skitter off to I forgot his name. Give me just a second.
Reagan.
Thank you.
Yes. Yep, you can skitter off in that direction. For Aviana and Flora, I will say that as given that we are getting ourselves prepared, you will be able to smell from the kitchen, unlike the Lemon Square situation that just mostly smelled like a strong smell of lemon, which always kind of carries with it connotations of like cleaning product. But this time it is the smell of cake, perhaps just a nice sponge cake, and it smells really good. You know that if you're traveling for a little while, you're probably gonna need rations, and there is usually a fairly decent supply here for you guys to pick up. So whilst getting yourself started for the trip, you can get that smell in the air. Craig had returned with something for you to change into.
Thanks. Just I'm just gonna go into this little closet here and deal with that.
I'll guard it so nobody comes in.
Okay. There's a lock on it. No, it's the locker room. That's means it has a lock on it.
Okay.
For the
Sure.
kitchen staff. Which okay, thanks. I appreciate your vigilance, but what I would like you to be vigilant on is my little timer there, and I point to the sand timer, because if I'm not out of there in time, you have to take the cake out.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. So he goes over. So, Flora and Aviana, if you're going in to fetch the rations and generally pick up the bundles that you're going to need for once it is time to set off, you can see Craig just standing, looking like he's standing to attention next to an oven. And he just kind of looks at the pair of you as you arrive.
So did the cake kill someone, Craig?
No, why would it kill someone? No, it's not done yet. It's still got and he like looks at the side. 3 minutes.
Then it has to cool.
Yeah.
Of course, guarding a
Sometimes you
prisoner
have
there.
test it with like a spoon or something to see if there's anything tacky. It can end before the timer is up.
Oh, should I check it before the timer's done?
Well, I don't. You're pretty close to the end. It wouldn't hurt, but or you could wait. Just notes.
I feel like
I'm just gonna go.
yeah, because I'm not actually the one that's baking it. It's Theowyn. I'm just here guarding it in case it's done before she arrives back.
Gotcha. Theowyn.
I'm naked. What?
Okay.
You see a sudden look of like panic on his face.
Just like from the closet. I'm naked.
Yeah.
Not all the way, just partially. Is there something? Is something wrong?
No, nothing is wrong. Just wanted to see how near you were to the cake. Craig just got his hands.
What does the timer say?
Well, sometimes you have to check before the timer, dear. It's okay.
Don't touch my cake, please.
I'm not-
I am going by the exact directions.
Flora, you
And
can see that
I have
Craig's-
the timer set up for me to check it with a toothpick when the timer is done.
Craig's face is bright red at this point.
You hear that, Craig?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. A, she's getting dressed still. B, guard that cake with your life.
Like, and around this time is when I'm like, all right, I'm okay now. Where's my apron?
Matty came and she flung Darktown on her, and I got
Full of
just
Darktown.
she just needed to get changed because she smelled like dark. That's all she was in there for.
It was ruining
Oh.
my palate, because the nose and the mouth are connected to each other, and this is like my strongest sense. I'm like a bloodhound.
So you got dirty with all of Darktown on you in front of
The timer's done.
Oh. He'll reach and like grab the timer, like somehow, like it running out is the problem, and it's like, I don't know. Do you have gloves for the oven?
Just back up. Just back up.
Okay.
I like open it and I pull out a toothpick and I stick it in the cake and I pull it out. Is there gunk?
No, you know what? That roll you did was exceptional, and you had some stub points. This is a really good sponge.
Like, I just hold out my arms. Everyone, space. Like,
The lady's working here. Back up, everyone. The lady's working.
Yeah, and it's like, so she did like 3 sponges in like little cake tins, and so she just kind of takes them out individually with her mitts, and she puts them on top of the oven. She closes it. She puts it on the chopping block, and she's like, "Nobody breathe on it. It has to cool down. Give it 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna put the icing on it."
It is very good icing, and Flora has probably had their finger in it.
Your fingers mess with the chemistry of the cream cheese.
I mean, I can take this icing then if it's not good anymore.
I just don't touch it anymore. I take a spoon and I just like dig out where like you touched it. It's like I still haven't even added the food coloring yet.
Coloring it.
What am I coloring it? I'm going to make it a little bit yellow, and then I'm going to have some of it be a little bit orange in the middle, and then red at the bottom, like a sunset.
That sounds beautiful. That sounds
very artistic. Theo, have you finished packing yet?
Yes, I finished packing yet. That's why I am in these clothes that I didn't pack, because I don't like these clothes, because all the things that I packed are packed yet. It's not your fault, Craig.
Okay.
Okay, that's why I am in a white linen shirt instead of my blue stuff. And
don't get any of your dye on it, otherwise Craig, you'll have to get her a new shirt.
Food coloring, it's not dye, it's washable. It's fine.
Okay, I don't mind going. I mean, we've got time. I can easily go and get you something.
No.
Yeah, she might have to take off her shirt.
Craig, I'm fine. Everything's fine. In fact, I would be so much better if everybody left.
Okay.
Come
on, everyone. Let's Out of the kitchen.
Go be ready when it's ready.
As we're exiting the kitchen, I'm just going to lean over to Floor and just whisper, So Darktown is code for something, right? It has to.
I feel like
it has to be code for something.
Craig, you have to tell us, what is Darktown really? What did Theo get messed up in?
I mean, it might have been shit. I'm not sure. It didn't smell very good, and like, I mean, have you been to Darktown? They have puddles of stuff that's shit. I mean, it's just.
Why did you get her so messy?
It was Matty. It wasn't me. I would just help get the clean shirt because she needed help, and so I.
So it was Maddie. Oh, okay, all right. She like a little pat on the shoulder.
Pinged it up. Okay.
Very chivalrous, Craig.
Yeah, I am chivalrous.
Mm-hmm. You look a little sweaty there too. Are you?
I'm not that sweaty.
Just in his armpits is the only
one. He's like, I'm just a little bit stressed and I can't help it. I'm just
a little red around the face.
Little rosy.
Yeah, well, we were in a kitchen, the oven was on, it was just a bit hot.
Oh, I'm sure it was very hot.
Very.
I'm used to colder climates for this. Anyway, do you need anything? Can I help you with anything? Because
you've helped plenty.
Yes.
Okay.
Have you finished packing, Craig?
Yes. I don't own very much, so it was easy to pack.
I'm sure Theowin will appreciate the lack of clothes.
Yeah. Well, it means I've got less to carry, so I can help her carry her stuff. I'm gonna I'm gonna go. I need to have a walk in the garden. He's just gonna turn around and like slink off, and does that thing where like once he feels like he is out of eye shot, it's just gonna start scampering and running away.
So, Javi, what do you think walk in the garden's code for?
Another word for cold shower.
I
But
think so too. He is very down bad.
it's almost alarming. It's adorable, but
I mean, it would be if Theowen wasn't
oblivious.
oblivious, and I think she is vaguely charmed as well.
Oh, I think they both care for each other. They just don't acknowledge it. But we'll see.
So what I'm hearing is we need to pack one less tent.
Oh, absolutely. Just adds to the list.
One less tent.
Yes.
Flips the book shut. Oh,
And there was only one tent. Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of those adventures. I guess we'll have to share. Yeah, very good. Genevieve, you were heading through to our fine assassin / poisoner. It's like a model / actor, but you know, more talented.
And yeah, on the way, she just got like a handkerchief, like she took from somebody. And she's like, I don't mind getting dirty, but I don't like when people touch me like that. Okay. Anyway,
Mhm.
and while she's making her, or when she kind of gets there, she'll be like, "Oh, Reagan, how is my hearty potion coming?"
And you kind of walk in, and there is just a mass of ingredients in glass bottles, and this slightly short, but he's an average build for an elf-blooded man. The dirty blonde hair and the side shave and the beard, just to let people know that he does have some human blood in him. And he looks, sleeves are rolled up, looking a little frazzled. Good, mostly. I'm at the last little stage here. If you could just here, can you hold this? And he's just gonna give just like this device to you. Just hold it very still. Don't
Okay.
let it. You don't shake it in any way. Okay, yeah, very good.
Oh no,
It's your poison you're ruining. It's your poison you're ruining.
Good point. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's gonna go back and try and do some finishing touches now. If you would like, can you roll me just let's call it 3d6s plus 5.
Okay, let me find my keyboard. So that's our 3d6. In
Yeah.
here.
Oh, at
Plus
6.
5.
Sorry, plus 6.
Plus 6.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go if I formatted that correctly. 18. Let's go.
Jeez. Triple 4s. So there's some stunt in there as well. Wowzers. Okay. For the stunts, I'm gonna say, you know what? You were just gonna get one draft. I'm gonna say you get 2 out of this. He's done just enough. He realized when he was putting it together that he had more ingredients that he necessarily needed, so he just balanced up instead of trying to remove things, and it has led to 2 doses of the concentrated crow poison. He'll eventually take the thing from you and then add it in and do some more chemistry on the table.
You sure not the mage? That was wonderful. Magic.
Yep. It's not an easy one to perfect.
I know. I'm very impressed.
Had to do a bit of research for this one, but I have a few contacts that came through. This is yeah, I'm really pleased with how the cool. So you this yeah, okay. This is for the Templars. I'd love to hear how that goes, because I know that you've asked that I come with you, which is great. I don't know if do you need me to be in there with you guys?
Oh, that's a good question. You are quite sneaky.
I'm exceptionally sneaky, thank you.
Now, how do I put this delicately? I would personally love that you would be there, but I know that some others would be a bit nervous. So, how about on the way we can talk about it?
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't let you down.
Oh, of
Okay,
course not.
okay.
No. I am fully confident in everything that you do, 100%. But
Hmm.
we'll talk about it.
Okay. Well, either way, I mean, at very least, I'd like to come in and see the aftermath. I'd like to see this at work.
I will give you full details of at least what I intend to do with this,
Mm.
and then let you know if it actually comes to be. Because I think, okay, now me personally, I would rather use paint to mess with people and not the actual shit. But
Mm.
I don't know. People are taking it escalation, but quite frankly, I think that's just gross. But we shall see.
Oh. Yeah, I suppose there's a point at which a prank has stopped being a prank and it's just become
Right? That's gross. And plus, it's nasty. Who wants to clean that up? Plus, wouldn't it be funnier for you to see someone when they wake up from, not knowing what's happening, and then see like, oh my God, I'm covered in shit makeup. What do I do? And then there's just a note in front of them that says, it's not shit. Fine. Dum dum.
Mm.
I think that's funny.
It adds a nuance to the technique, yeah.
It's definitely like sheer panic first, and then you have to question, is this note real?
Mm. Yeah.
Like, why would a bunch of people just break in to then cover you in paint? It's insanity. And I love
You
it.
know, maybe even if it's not paint, you could cover them in oil because, like, the metal armor and just being like drenched in oil and then like slipping around everywhere. That'd be kind of funny.
See, like, and this is why I like you so much. I mean, I like you anyway because you're so skilled and you're a wonderful person.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the ideas and just the cherry on top. Oh, it's beautiful.
Okay.
See,
Well,
this is why we could talk on the way.
okay. I have things I need to pack up now that I'm done with this. I need to go
Yes,
and
thank
yeah.
you. Do you need
Yeah.
anything? I know you've been very busy with my order, so I appreciate it. But could I help you get anything you might need? I'm done.
Oh, no, I should be okay. I've already organized all of the ingredients and the bottles of things that I would like to bring for my own job. Who else is going? Just so I am aware of the skill sets I am equipping myself for.
We have, of course, the Chains of Revenge because we're wonderful. And then all of us, and then Griffin will be coming along, and I believe Craig will be coming along as well. And
Craig? Oh,
and
nice.
Harry,
Yeah,
Harry
and
will be
Harry.
coming along.
Okay.
I don't think there's any more.
Okay.
I'm not sure though.
No, that's good. All right. Well, I certainly know that me and Harry would be good for some poison coatings for things, and I'll
And if we need to sneak around and stuff, but
well, we're both certainly very sneaky. Okay. Thank you for that. That information is enough. It shouldn't take me too much longer now.
Okay. Also, Afriana, I just gave her a wonderful bag that has lovely compartments that I don't know if she has everything filled in, but you could probably use some of that.
Yeah. Well, I imagine she'll probably be swinging by to grab her own things for her own treatments.
I have no doubt. Especially when they tell her to. So yes, that happened.
I would believe you if not for the laugh that you do afterwards,
I don't know what you mean. That is so insulting. Are you making fun of my laugh? Oh,
yeah.
See, this is why I like you so much. She'll just like hit him a little bit.
Okay. All right. Well, see you soon then. Have you started us a ship yet?
Not yet. That is my next thing to do.
You've been caught slipping. Come on.
Oh,
those
I
contacts work.
am offended. I am on my way to ask Askan to come with me so that we get a good deal. He can, scare people without the horns and the, giantness of him.
He can be scary when people don't know him better.
Exactly. He doesn't have to talk. He just has to be intimidating and scare people by me.
I don't need you to talk. I just need you to be big.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's a technique. We'll see if it works.
I think she'll just fan a little bit like, yes. Anyway, I will
Okay,
send Aviana over and I will find Askan to do connections for the boat. And see you later, my friend.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. So she'll definitely try to find Askan.
Yep. So yeah, you
Oh,
head off.
and on the way, if I find Aviana, be like, go visit our Riken friend. He needs help with the Hutties and Heelys.
Oh, okay.
Have fun. Okay.
Yes.
Walks off.
Go with the
You're
Hurties
getting
and
karma
Heelys.
for being mean to Craig.
Yep.
Oh no! If Genevieve hears about that, she is going to give y'all so much treats. Like, yes, I can't be the only one that messes with Craig.
It's the
Great.
bonding activity for this group.
Oh yeah, 100%. We all just need to grow as people. We'll get there. But yeah, she'll find Ascan in whatever order we need to do this.
Mhm. So as you go to find Askant, you go and fetch yourself a ship. We are pulling in nicely to where we are going to be taking our break, everybody. We are going to take about 10 minutes just to stretch leggies, get ourselves hydrated, some snacks, you know, that sort of thing. Would recommend you do the same. Be back with us in 10 minutes where we can see more awkward flirting and teasing poor people that don't deserve it. Bye, everyone. See you in 10. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you are all doing well, that you had a little bit of a rest, you hydrated, you stretched your leggies. We sure did. And some of us went and rants about history, and we spoke about nuts. Happy times. We are back at it with our group. The mostly mages and a rogue. The team Chains of Revenge, who are going to be set on a task to go and acquire, definitely by legal means, Illyrium stash from some Templars and bringing it to some mages in need. The crew have been getting themselves prepared mostly, or baking, and are almost ready to go. There's a few steps before we get there, one of which is trying to gain passage on a ship that's actually going to take you to Wycombe, which is where the Templar stronghold is based. As such, we are going to focus our camera in on Genevieve first. Now, you were just taking your large canary friend to just be large behind you, correct?
Yes. And have little chat along the way.
Okay. So you can head away from the home base of your organization and start to make your way towards where the docks are. What would you like to converse about on your way there?
So, Ascon, we're going to be gone for probably a while. I'm not sure how long. But are you on any missions or anything right now?
I mean, there's a couple things that I check in on, and sometimes I go and run errands. I don't have anything specific I'm working on. Not yet, anyway. Just waiting for Shona.
Okay. While we're gone, could you just, if you clear anything about Claudine or Emil, just send me a bird.
Sure. Have you tried to gain any information in yourself yet?
I talked to Shona, and she has nothing. Nothing is particular.
I don't. I know that the phrase is that no news is good news, but
yeah, not in this case. I would rather know. As is per usual for me, I would rather know, even if it's hard or terrible, whatever it may be.
Well, I'll keep my ear out.
Thank you.
I know a couple people that are over in that part of the world. I don't know that they're close to where the circle is, but I'm happy to ask.
I appreciate it. I haven't gotten anywhere. And he's well. When I was with him many years ago, he's a very sweet boy. He's a little grandiose, as we all religions are, but I'm sure that is not the case anymore after being in the circle. So, if anything, number one, I just want to know he's alive, and number two, it would be nice to hear how he is.
Okay. Well, I'll get in touch with the people that I know. And who knows, maybe they know someone connected to those circles.
Yeah. In the meantime, and you kind of see her, birds fluff out a little bit when they're trying to shake it off. And she's just kind of, okay, just the plates. Shall we go scare the shit out of some people? Sure. I mean, acquire a ship to take us to Wycombe and, make sure it's safe and all that for a good price.
You need me to be just quiet for this?
When we start talking, but make sure that, if you know someone better than me, we can do that. But, yes.
Okay.
And maybe, choice, coughs and, scary, and, put the arms under your biceps and make them bigger, I mean, immediately that last part's just for me, but I'm sure it'll scare some other people as well.
I'll be sure to puff out my chest for you.
Thank you. It is so nice. And she, not like a bongo tap, but just kind of like.
The full circle of Tauren being involved in a scene where someone is bongo tapping. Listen.
It's so true and on point. Yes.
He just kind of like stands there and watches you do it. Like, okay, you good? Got that out of your system.
Not yet, but I'm sure we have what's out later. Let's go, big scally man. Go scale these cockwell people.
And he'll
Shaking
like
the boots.
do like the the forward flex.
Oh, there we
thing
go.
as you-
Yes, that's good. Oh, so handsome. Like serious. This is serious. Stop laughing.
I'm so serious.
Stop. Okay. And she'll get
And
her
you-
like game face on, like okay.
Yeah. Now when you come down to this area, there are actually several areas that count as docks rather than it being the sort of city where there's just one circular where you can kind of see all of the ships. Kirkwall is a large city that was designed to not only just take things in as a port city, but a lot of things were also taken underground, and it was one of the main concentrations of Tevinter power in its heyday, and where it took all of its trade, mostly dealing in slaves. But you know the area to go where there might be some more perhaps commercial ships, or the sorts of crews that are willing to take on the work of transporting people as well as goods that people maybe need to get shipped around, rather than it being for a specific company where they are just dealing with their own stuff and not looking for any passengers. If you roll me, I would say this is a searching roll, but I am open to hearing a barter for a different focus should you wish. But you are going to be trying to look for ships that seem like they would be open for your kind of business.
Yes. So I have a few things.
Mhm.
I have investigation, heraldry, navigation, or military lore. I would say probably in this case, I even have searching. Oh no. You know what? We're gonna say searching. Does that work
Sure.
here, or is that specifically to something else?
I would say that
Like-
searching and investigation are the two that are probably the most likely to wrap into what it is that
Yeah.
you're trying to do, rather
And
than looking for heraldry necessarily, because you would just instinctively know that anywhere that is bearing a particular standard is not necessarily what you're wanting anyway.
Yeah, especially under the radar. Probably avoid those, to be honest. All right, I will do a searching. Please be good. That's a 17.
That's a 17. That's heckin' good. Okay, so you can see that there are, by the looks of things, 3 ships that would meet the sort of criteria that you need in terms of size and apparent purpose. 2 of them look like they are smaller, slightly shallower boats. One is currently stocking up. One looks like it is actually perhaps just landed as it is removing stuff from the deck of its ship. And the third is quite eye-catching, if only because, unlike the others, which try to keep themselves fairly nondescript, and a lot of sails tend to just be in that sort of white or cream color, for various actual practical purposes, and also just avoiding detection from waking sea raiders and other pirates, is a ship whose sail is a very deep, intense indigo color with patterning out at the sides that are yellow and orange. It is a very bold color scheme, really rich dyes being used. It's not like it's just been washed out, which is kind of fascinating in a way. And you can see that there is a crew there that are there's a couple of people who are milling around on the actual dock itself, and the rest appear to be on the deck playing a game of cards with one another. So you can go and approach specific crews. There are people that you probably have a contact here that is somebody who works at the docks and not on a specific ship to get intel. They're the kind of people that normally you're just information gathering, but it could be that you're trying to look for a crew that would be the most conspicuous.
Yeah, and I also speak trade tongues as well. So is there anyone that I think, well, first I would go, Askan, do you recognize any of these?
Does he? Also, trade tongue is just common for this world. That's just what they're
merchant
called.
stuff.
Yeah. I don't recognize the ship themselves. I feel like I know, and he's going to indicate to the one with the colors.
Yeah.
I've heard of them before, but I don't want to be really, you know, it's a bit on the nose, I guess, for why I might know of them. And you can see that there's two that you can see who are Kunari, which is kind of odd necessarily to see on the crew of a ship, especially in Kirkwall. For the most part, it is almost it's very heavily saturated in humans. The occasional smattering of elves. There may be a dwarf here or two, but it's mostly humans. They get everywhere, those humans.
Would I know with my military lore or anything deeper knowledge, like as Genevieve?
No, I would say that this doesn't necessarily tap into military lore specifically. And the thing that you would know about Canary being in this area is not necessarily something that you have to roll for, given that you've been here a while and you know the likes of Ascan. There are some Talbashov in the area. They've had a bit of a hard time in recent years, given that there was an attempted invasion and conversion by members of the Kuhn in this area. So relations have been a little tense. So it is perhaps a slightly ballsy move for a crew with Canary to be in here plying their business. But other than that bit of knowledge, which is local, no, wouldn't apply for them.
I think she would look at Ascot and just be like, now, the logical part of me would like to go talk to the ship that's unloading because they probably don't have a job yet. However, I do like bright colors. That flag has some bright orange on it. It's so pretty.
Well, I can go. There's only so far my big and scary I'm a Canary is going to go when you're speaking.
No, and there's
to other
two of
Canary.
them. Oh. Are they bigger than you? Can we tell?
One of them is bigger than him. You're at a bit of a distance, so you're not sure. You're going to have to get them close. But one of them is looking particularly tall. Is a female who's looking real tall.
Does she have muscles?
Yes.
Yes, for scientific knowledge. I think she could actually beat you in arm muscle. What? I don't mean it as a terrible thing. I just mean we should gamble on it.
Okay.
It'll be fine. Come on. She'll snake her arm underneath his.
Just as well I am secure in my own body and self to not feel self-conscious about that.
It'll be fine. Now put on the big scary mask and I'm
okay.
Yes.
He'll flex a little as he walks with you. If you head up to the docks, you can see there are two people that are there. There is a dwarven woman who has blonde hair. She has braids in her hair, and then she's got like facial hair that kind of comes down her chin with like little. It's not fully braided. It's not long enough for braids, but she's got like beard jewelry in the bits at the side. Wearing a big fur over her shoulders, and she's kind of sat speaking with this other woman who is not Canary. She's real tall. She's really tall. In fact, she's about as tall as the Scan, which is unusual for human women. But she is a human woman. She has blonde hair. She's got them in two big braids down the side, and she's like leaning back, and she's got. Like in the games where you're approaching someone and you see them who has like this big hammer that's about as tall as a person. She's got one of those like strapped to her back as she is just conversing with this dwarven woman. It's an unusual pair, but they're both bringing the same energy despite the fact that their size difference is wildly different. They both look like they could mess you up.
Hell yeah. I mean, ladies, I swear you both need to have shows. It is so bright. You're so beautiful and so strong. Sorry, get away from myself. Hello, I am Genevieve. I am actually hoping to contract your ship, potentially.
For what?
Can you
And this is the big, tall woman. Which you could you have like a cultural lore or something similar in cunning?
let me look? In cunning, I have heraldry, navigation, and military lore.
It's
But I
none of
do
this for me.
have empathy and searching as perception.
No, this is very much a cultural thing. But you can just roll the
Yeah.
cunning roll,
Sure.
and see how you come out. Oh,
Not great, but 6 with
what
the
do you mean?
stunt.
What do you mean not great? 19 is almost as good as you can get.
Oh, I saw the 6 and thought it was a 6 and almost
Oh
panicked.
no, that's your
It's
stub
19.
point.
Yeah,
my
that's just
friend.
my point.
Yeah, you stunted with 6 and 19. Okay. Gosh, I feel like I should layer in quite a lot of things that you know here.
Okay.
Judging by the general stature and the garb that is being worn and complexion of and the slightly guttural accent that came out of the woman in front of you, you would wager that she is probably Avar. Which, I'm sure the Orlesians have a lot of thoughts about the Avar. But they are from the Frostback Mountain region predominantly, although they do have some settlements in other areas. They are historically there was many a human clan in Ferelden, and at one point in history they all unified underneath one king, but the Avar and a couple of others were like, no, we're not doing that, and kept themselves separate, culturally different, religion, different everything. But they still will get tarred with the same brush that our legions feel about Fereldans. They probably feel the same way about the Avar.
I wonder. I don't know if Genevieve. I think, given her background of being a exile Orlesian, I don't know if she would still hold on to that. And she's been in Ferelden for a long time.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's like you'll know what you were taught, and you know that there may be certain views on things that may have come from your people, but you're really worldly now, and you have a lot of different contacts. So your attitude is probably different from your homeland.
Yeah.
But there is no mistaking the fact that this is an Avar woman stood in front of you.
Yeah.
Which, interesting, that is not with clan and quite far away and working on a boat. It's interesting.
So
what is it you want to hire us for?
We need, and I mean we, there's a small group of us, about 9 or so. We need safe passage to Wycombe. Quiet passage.
Yeah, it's not terribly far, just along the. It's not my decision. But
I would totally believe if you told me you're both very strong. And the leadership just oozes. Who can I talk to about it?
I like your sweet where this is the words coming out of this one, and she'll nudge. She has to lean down to nudge at the dwarven woman, but does lean down to nudge at the dwarven woman, who just kind of is giving you a look. It's just like it's either resting bitch face or it's not resting, it's intentional bitch face.
It's intentional.
Very directed, purposeful bitch face. It's just giving you a look of someone who has come up here and are using very flattering words at the pair of them, and she's just giving you a bit of a skull.
I think even at that moment, Genevieve will, because I imagine Genevieve where she hits on Askan is probably his shoulder. She's not going to be that tall. Anyway, she kind of just leans over, I do get strong people. Just to talk to them, I apologize.
It's all right. I don't mind being flattered. I am taken though, and she'll reach down and ruffle the hair of the dwarven woman.
I knew it. Only strong women can handle strong women. No offense, Askan.
I don't know. He looks like he could handle himself.
Big boys, they have tender hearts, but they are too short. It's fine.
Well, we've got a few there on board. I could bring you to your captain if you.
Yes, please.
So it's just safe passage. Are you bringing any trouble aboard the ship? I feel like that's important for us to know.
What Orlesian isn't trouble, let's be honest. But
all Orlesians. I don't.
We can't help it. It's in our blood. But no of trouble. Just safe and quiet passage.
All right. Well, and she'll just turn around, rub her hands together, pat the dwarf on the head, who still like hasn't moved, hasn't flinched, not even at the ruffling, is still just watching you
I think
as you pass by.
I'm trying to decide how shitty Genevieve would be. I think because she still wants something, she'll just kind of look down and just, you've clearly gotten a good catch, and so has she. Thank you. But not like, too pokey at it. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so you were brought aboard the ship, just enough to be over the lip and on the actual deck itself. The tall Avar woman will kind of hold a hand out for you to just stay where you are, and she goes over, and you just hear her like starting to bellow out the name Orthar, and then you hear her shouting, "Come on, you old goat!" And after a moment, there is a man who comes out. One of the doors. It's just towards the back end that clearly leads to a couple of rooms that are on this deck of the ship before going below deck. And this is a Canary man who has that sort of like average height for a male Canary. But there's something about his presence that's just large. Big arms, big hands. He's got one of those necks that's like comes out even further than like his head. And he's got these big, like really thick 2 horns that come back and they cut off at the end. He's got a beard. Looks graying. This looks like an older gentleman, perhaps, 60s, 70s maybe, who just kind of gives you a bit of a look over, does the lifted head nod at the Avar woman, and will kind of step over towards you.
Hello, my name is Genevieve. Are you the captain of this beautiful ship?
I am.
So, what is your name? I imagine it's not Goat, as the lovely woman beside you implied.
Orthar.
Orsa, it's lovely to meet you. Do you have any jobs currently? Are you looking for one?
Well, we always find work, but I'm open to the possibility. What is it that you need?
So, myself, a small crew of people, we need to get to Wycombe. Safely.
Safe from what?
The dangers of the sea. I mean, now don't get me wrong. I'm not a captain. I've been on the sea a couple of times. A little bit scary, quite personally, but you know how dangerous it can be. Otherwise, you not would have such a capable crew around.
He gives a little like derisive like laugh, and you see there is someone who is sat in one of the chairs who's involved in the card game. This appears to be another Canary, a younger man, who is quite slight in a way, slightly more delicate horns. You don't ever see his face or him turning around. You just see the finger being lifted up in the general direction of the captain.
And at least entertaining.
Yeah, don't mind him. All right, what kind of price are you offering for such a task?
Do I know what funds I can use with the
Well, your organization don't necessarily have much in the way of deep funds. It was not the focus when building our organization. We didn't put an awful lot of points into wealth, but you probably have enough to cover the average cost for hiring a ship. Is probably if it's just the one way, maybe like a gold per person.
I would. What would she do? I think she would offer a little bit less, not much less, but just a little bit. It's an immediate job.
Can you roll me a persuasion, please?
Yes.
I am going to allow you to add 1 to your roll because your organization have.
Oof. Yeah, that's 11. That's not great.
That's not great. That is not the going rate, I'm afraid.
That is true. Let's see. What about that with can I do like a quick little look-see over everyone on the ship and see about what they're kind of like, what's their makeup? Like, are they all rogues? Are they all soldiers?
Ooh, this would be a, I guess it's kind of investigation, I guess, because you're analyzing.
Yeah, and I was going to mention, I think when she has Askin's arm, they probably have kind of a bit of a shorthand between each other because they've worked together a while. And like, you know, what's your vibe? Kind of like just tapping and grabbing, like, what's your vibe? To kind of get his opinion on it. Very quick assessment. You said investigation?
Yeah.
Okay. Please be slightly better. 17!
Ooh, 17 is very good. It is hard to judge. The people that you can see, it is quite clear that the two women that you encounter to begin with look like they are warriors. They are kitted out as such. This guy also looks like he could definitely handle himself in a fight. He is a little later in his years, but you know, still looks
I
like he
wouldn't fuck with them.
throw down. You're not sure about the others that you can see. On the deck, you can only really see two others right now, and they look a bit more slight. There's you're judging by general stature, maybe an elf, but currently has a hood up, and is holding some cards and has gloves on. They look kind of pale from underneath it, but whether that is rogue or otherwise, you're not sure. But a mix.
Because I think what I want to do is kind of just test a little bit here, because I do have to be careful considering we have mostly mages. That we don't have a, you know, like, down with all mages, muzzle them. So I think after a quick look, she'll just be like, well, we do have slightly more funds, but I think I can offer you something better. You all are clearly capable and obviously have some fun with that one, pointing to the one that flicked him off. Well, so my companions and myself, we're all quite intelligent and have skills that maybe we could barter for. If you need potions or at least some knowledge or some basic supplies, that would be hard to find.
What kind of basic supplies?
Well, I like to affectionately call them healies and hearties, but everyone else seems to stick like this. So, but you know, herbs to make things. Do you have someone that can make potions? We might have someone that could do this for you.
Well,
also intelligent conversations, but yes. and I think she's trying to like learned conversations and just slightly hint that there is learned people that would only have a library, which would probably be the circle.
I see.
Can I read him to see if he's like...
Yeah, roll empathy. He is going to ask you a question as well, but you can kind of wrap that into...
Shit, that's only 13, but it's not the worst.
Yeah, he's, you know...
Kind of like, is like...
Nah,
like,
he's
I don't like that shit here.
Good front. Yeah. Doesn't seem opposed, but it's hard to tell exactly what he's thinking. If you answer me a question...
Oh, I will always answer questions, so it may not be what you want.
I may be inclined one way or the other.
Okay.
What are you going to Wycombe for?
To help people who need it, who are downcast and downtrodden.
I'm going to allow you to roll either a persuasion or a leadership roll.
Oh, okay. I don't think I have leadership. Shit, no. You said persuasion?
Try to sell yourself.
That's a 20! Sorry.
Okay.
Choose enough.
Yeah. Perhaps it's just the way that you say it, but your conviction really comes through in what you're trying to say. It has that impressive moment.
There's a slight like genuineness to it.
Yeah. And his eyes kind of drift towards Ascan actually when you were talking him back to you. Perhaps there's something in the fact that you have a Canary who is clearly in favor of you and here supporting you, perhaps that's actually done some good in this as well. All right. When is it you intend to leave?
As soon as you're ready.
Well, we've still got one thing to sort out, but we'll be leaving probably in the morning. Will you be ready that quick?
I think so. Is there anything I can help you with what you need?
No, we're okay. Thank you, though.
You're welcome. If you need anything, let me know.
No.
I've worked here for a while.
It's fine. Personal business.
Okay.
We leave bright and early, so make sure you're here, ready to go on board the ship. Otherwise, we will leave without you.
Absolutely, Captain Osa. We will be here. Captain? No? Don't like that? What do you prefer?
No, you can call me Captain. That's fine.
Okay, Captain. Well, Captain Mike. I'm kidding. I think she'll kind of like shout towards the slimmer, younger Quinari just, and I hope that we can look forward to meeting you. You're so spicy.
Just kind of like looks at you and gives a little frown, and like an awkward kind of wave as you say it as you're leaving. Like, it doesn't seem to know how to verbally respond to you.
Yeah, I think you just see her fingers kind of drum on Askan's bicep at that. However, oh, actually, I have a quick question. We need to make sure that we have you have space for about 9, 10?
Provided you're willing to be cozy down below.
Oh yes,
We've got hammocks for you.
It's so close. We are just such the best of friends. It will be fine.
Well, if you weren't before, you will be by the time we get there.
I'm going to love this. And definitely, like, if she could grow like little devil horn, she would. Oh, this is going to be so much fun. I will just say, now that you've already accepted and you can't take it back, you've already said yes. My clue is eccentric, but I think you'll like us.
We can do eccentric here.
Okay, come on, Askan. Oh, we have so much to do.
Asking, like, he doesn't bother flexing because he knows that would just be embarrassing in front of other Canary, so he just like leaves with you.
Now, as we're walking away, like, did you notice anything I didn't?
Just a couple more people further in one of the rooms that was definitely aware, listening to us.
You think it's dangerous that we can't handle it?
No, I think we'll be fine. We're competent people, aren't we? Good at what we do.
Always. I just want to make sure that... Now, I didn't see anything, like, anger or just I want to kill that when I mentioned magic. Well, not directly, but, you didn't see anything, right?
No, I think you were subtle enough that some people might have just overlooked that. But I'm sure we'll be fine. They know how to act like they're not mages, right?
Well, most of them. I do worry about the little demon alarm that we have, but I'm sure it'll work out. Sorry, that was insensitive.
No, it's fine. And you know what?
Sister.
If things go poorly, Reagan can just poison all of their breakfast and we'll just take over and now we've gained a ship.
Oh, you know what? Mentioning he gave me 2 concentrated crowd poisons. I'm so excited to use these. I always thought I was going to have 1. Now I get to even be more chaotic and it's going to be so much fun. I
almost feel sorry for the bastards.
Why? They're going to be fine. We won't go too far. Maybe.
So as you two make your way back up to the safe house, the rest of you have been able to get yourselves packed up and ready to go. Theowen, and it is up to the rest of you if you want to be within earshot or eyeshot or in the same room. Harry is going to approach you.
100%.
I want to hear this. Sorry.
the eyes?
Oh. Yes. The reaction is pretty awesome.
Like as he like approaches her though, she is just finishing up like that last like the bright red bottom of the cream cheese on her 3-layer cake. And here's what's up. Theowen has really good color theory because she paints. So
Yeah.
she's like, oh yeah, it's looking.
You've created like an ombre effect.
Yes.
Nice.
So the cake, we don't know how it tastes, but it looks pretty.
You rolled real well. I bet it's gonna taste amazing.
Uh-huh.
You turn around. The first thing you're gonna see is that Hari is standing in front of you.
Just kind of looks around. Hi.
Hi, I believe you wanted one of these, and he's gonna lift up, and he's holding the handles of what looks like. At first, it looks like a bag, perhaps like a big some kind of fancy or Elysian purse. But you realize it is like a harness that he is holding. That contained within it is a really very floofy dog. Now, is it a tiny little yappy lapdog? Perhaps not. It's maybe a little bigger than you were anticipating. But there's a really big floofy chunker who is currently, because he's being harnessed. I don't know if you've ever seen like animals, especially the likes of cows, when they're being like airlifted. You know, like there's just like this harness that's just the so it's little like
Does it have
big,
a curly tail?
Yes.
Is it a boy or a girl?
I have a we'll say it is a boy.
I'm not gonna lie, if Genevieve was around the corner, like she's definitely like, oh no, Askin, step back. And I think she'll just say under her breath, like, oh shit, I was looking forward to stealing a dog for her. Now I just feel slighted.
Let me find. I have a picture for the cast. It is a real fluffy chonker. You can't even necessarily see if it's got a tail. And its paws are real chunky. It's quite big. There's a slight heft to it, but it's he's like, they had a few breeds of like they just reached adulthood dogs. This was the smallest of the ones that I could acquire for you. Will this suit your purposes?
You got me a dog.
I did.
Don't lick the cake. Oh my god. Is that the color of the dog?
Okay. Yes. I'm don't worry. He's still holding the harness. He's like, it can't go anywhere while I'm holding this. Do you want to test to make sure you can lift it? I mean, it's still small.
She
but
grabs the dog and, by the armpits and just holds it to her. And she's like,
yeah. It's it immediately, you can feel the butt wiggling like it's trying to wag its tail. And just looks up at you.
She checks to see if it's a boy or a girl.
It appears like it is a little boy.
It's gonna pee everywhere. Oh my god. His name. She looks around and she goes, his lemon meringue pie.
Lemon meringue pie. Okay.
Because he looks like a lemon. Look at him.
You do, yes, you're a lemon. Okay. Well,
look at his colors. He's got the little.
She definitely whispers asking, we have to get him more books. I'm so tired of lemon.
It's the little smoosh face. Do you think that Flora and Aviana are also within earshot of this happening? Are you guys just sitting back watching? Matty too can be there if you've had your bath.
I actually had a thing I wanted to say with Aviana, but I don't want to.
No, you can do, because it's that can happen after this if you want, or it can happen just now. It's your call. But there was a pupper.
I just think at some point in between Genevieve going out and Theowen receiving the long prophesied pupper,
yes.
Maddie needed to get like an hour of sleep at least before like going on a boat trip for Templar heist. And I think the only place that she actually feels safe enough to sleep, given all of the booby traps in her room from Genevieve, is in like Aviana's kind of like chambers where you do like your mixing and stuff. And I just like to imagine that at some point like Maddie just kind of like quietly went in, was planning to like catch up with Aviana, but just kind of fell asleep standing up, like leaning against the wall. And when she falls asleep, she stops like kind of holding all of her magic in, so you've just been in this room with this like healing aura all around you. And I don't know how that interacts with like Javiana's like pain and stuff, but I like to think, if you're open to it, Mary, that like maybe it's just like a little palliative, like whilst you're like in the same room, that you can kind of Just wanted to add that.
I love that. I think that Aviana would definitely kind of like relax her shoulders for a minute and just kind of like take a deep breath of like just like when you're holding yourself tense for a while and then just that gentle like muscles relax for a moment as she kind of like checks through her stores, and then every time the bottles end up on the top shelf, but it's just a little bit easier to climb up there this time. And it's usually always when Maddie's around, and it's Aviana will make sure that Maddie's in an okay position for sleep, that like so they won't fall down or something. And definitely it's just like checking on them as you know as prepping for things.
So like maybe thank you for doing this with me, because I liked the idea of it, like since I saw your introduction of Aviana. But I think so maybe like we hear some of the chaos of Theowen as is often like the indicator in our HQ that like Theowen will make some kind of sound, and like Maddie will kind of wake up like an hour or two later and just kind of skip up closer to the present moment where the puppy has arrived, and just like kind of look at you, Aviana, and be like, oh, did I pass out? Did I wait? Hang on. Did you put this on me?
You looked cold, so
Yeah.
just get a good rest. I know sleeping is iffy sometimes, so
It was another disaster at the Bone Pit. I don't know how that place is still open. I seriously don't. Like, we keep trying to close it. But I guess there's a lot of Ferelden refugees who still need work. How's it going? Are you prepared? This whole plan is wild.
yeah,
I assume you've made a list.
of course. We've got just about everything. Jen is going to be getting the ship, and then
Which she is. Do we trust her with that? Is that a choice that we make?
I trust her more than the last time that I tried to do it. I mean, I was awful at trying to. I got cheated out of so much money on that one, so I'd just rather Jen do it. She usually finds a good route, good people to go with.
To be fair, I don't think your kindness is such a flaw. But I will admit we can at least trust the illusion in the arts of deception and manipulation. All right. I'm just worried that the boat we're going to get is going to have, all pretty things on it and not actually be proper, durable Ferelden oak,
Understood. I mean, it will be what it will be, and we will adapt, just as we usually do. It'll be okay. And besides, we just need to get from point A to point B and get past the water, and then into a Templar stronghold.
Yeah, how are you feeling about that?
Nervous, I guess. I don't want people to get hurt. I know that we can't protect everyone, but and she just kind of like sets the quill down that she was writing with. They've hurt so many of us already. I just want it to go as smoothly as possible without any more harm being done.
What were you doing before? Before you joined us, before you joined this?
Gosh. Well, I lived in a circle for a time. I was found out after the Battle of Denerim.
Were you in Kinloch?
and I think she just kind of gets a little bit anxious. Yeah.
So sorry.
But
I heard what happened during the 5th Blight, so...
it was a lot. I managed to keep under the radar for the most part. And when one of the Darkspawn got into our house, I didn't think. I just reacted, and then the next day I was woken up bright and early, and all that life was over.
I worked in the infirmary in our circle because you don't have a lot of spirit healers and there's a lot of healing that needs doing in a circle. More than you would think for a community of people indoors, not allowed to fight. I think people like you and me who see a side of others that they don't necessarily share with the world see here a whole extra line in the chorus that other people have no idea exists. I was in Starkhaven and it was going to hell long before someone accidentally set the tower on fire. And everyone got moved here. And we know how that worked out. I am so angry. All the time. And all I want to do, all I have been given to do, is put things back together, and all that I want to do is break them. Because I can't put this back together. I can't put the world back together. I can't fix these people, our people, unless something else breaks. It's endless. It never stops. I'm not even allowed to actually heal them. Everything I do, everything I've been doing for the last week is illegal because they're not rich enough and they're not special enough and they're not holy enough to deserve not to watch their families die. And I just don't understand how we're supposed to make peace with that. You saved your family from Darkspawn. And you suffered for that heroism. Where someone else who'd drawn up a sword would have been knighted, squired at the very least. I hope it goes smoothly. I hope that we are safe. I worry that there is never any trusting a Templar. I worry that the symptoms of Lyrian addiction include paranoia and hallucinations. I worry that everything a Templar has ever taught is to believe that we are evil, and that any look of a young person or a normal person is secretly temptation or deception. I don't know why I'm saying this. It's been a long 3 days.
You have no reason to apologize. And I understand. I don't show a lot of anger, but I am angry. The only way I know how to handle it is if I can help one more person. If I can right one more wrong. Maybe whatever this balance of this world, with every step that I take, with every fiber of my being, I can nudge the balance into something better.
We cannot complete the work. We are not obliged to complete the work, for neither are we free to abandon it, right?
A healer is one of the most fulfilling and heartbreaking jobs. You see the beauty that is health and the sadness that is the lack thereof of it, and the harm that is done, and the worst and best parts of humanity.
Yeah.
It's a lot to hold on to.
It's been a really long 3 days. But I'm glad you're all safe. I'm glad you're all safe. And we will do this.
Here, just she's gonna get in one of her drawers, and I saved this back from last time. Just didn't seem like the right time, and she opens a little lockbox, and inside, there is it's almost like a worry bracelet, but it's very intricately woven. Like the wire is wrapped with like different stones, but each one like kind of has a particular design that if you look really closely, it kind of has this infinity loop, but the beads you can kind of twist around just as a way to like release energy. It's not going to fix anything, but it's something.
You are a very kind and patient person, and I am glad to know you. Thank you. I have this cake that Genevieve left in my room, but I'm not entirely sure it doesn't have laxatives in it. So I suggest that we test it before eating it, but if it is clean, I'd love to share it with you. I'm sorry, I have nothing else. I have not sat down for more hours than I can actually count. I also need to wash.
How about this? You freshen up. I will test this for whatever prank it may hold, although I do think it is a olive branch, as it were. And then we can share this and talk about brighter times.
That sounds perfect.
No, go. We don't have much time for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I got it. Also, someone should check on Theowyn because she was screaming, and I think it was the good screaming, but I am not great at telling the differences between the screaming genres.
I didn't see smoke, so I think we're safe.
Okay, great. Cool.
Yeah. So, we are in various states of rest, recuperation, packing, gather ourselves organized. We have secured a ship as well. The various things that you need are ready for you. Hopefully, most of us managed to check out the resources that Hari made available to you. If you have not yet made your choice, you can make your choice about what you take. But you feel kitted up for the task at hand for the most part. And upon hearing that a ship has indeed been chosen, you are able to have a restful night to make sure that you are up bright and early. You can have your breakfast here should you wish. to be ready to be down on the docks for the ship, which you can see is called Gomorden's Might. And the well-learned amongst you, it depends whether you're into this sort of thing, but if any of you are like me and would have a special interest in dragons, if you think your character is a special interest style person, you know that Gomorden is perhaps a play on the Gomorden Strider, which is a type of dragon which matches the colorations of the sails. Those dragons have that very deep, rich indigo and orange and yellow. And perhaps fittingly, with a ship that is named after a dragon, you can see there are several Kunari on board. What I will say is that for the 4 mages, something that our 2 rogues were not able to ascertain when they were aboard this ship yesterday. Once you get on board, you are going to become aware that it'll ping at your senses, that tug, that odd taste on the air, perhaps with something that is connected to the veil. There is certainly at least one, maybe more than one, mages aboard this ship. And I don't know who is likely to notice it. I don't know if you would exchange a look between yourselves, if this is something that you would like to discover before you set sail, or whether it's something you're just going to ease into. You know that they're here. It's like a ping on a radar let you know that something was here. You have not necessarily ascertained the direction until you get closer to them. But this is something that you acknowledge amongst yourselves as 4 mages.
I would say Genevieve, given her nature, she's very protective of this crew.
Mm-hmm.
She would watch them as they board. Not necessarily knowing that part that they, know that a mage is there, but just making sure they're not uncomfortable.
Sorry.
No, carry on.
I'd like to cut a glance at Floor. As mentioned, I'm not sure that Maddie necessarily likes Floor, because unfortunately for Floor, Maddie kind of holds their Tavernier association against them, but at the same time, a Tavinta mage may have like kind of different ways, or like, Tavintas will understand one kind of mage and Southern mages will understand another kind of mage, and so Maddie kind of glances at Floor to be like, is this one of yours or one of ours? As she kind of spreads her senses out, so she's kind of like questioning look at Floor, but trying to be subtle about it. She's an apostate. She's used to not making big obvious reactions in public.
Sure. As you guys cast your eyes, you can see, as Genevieve did when she was on the ship, there is the person who is, apparently the captain, who is a large, he's definitely dense. Let's use that word. He looks like he's got heft to him. 2 big horns. And, do the horns get bigger when they get older? I assume that they do, because it's going to operate like other creatures that have horns. So he has these big, 2 thick, hefty ones that have been either cut off or broken off at the ends, and this white, thick beard. You can see that he is currently conversing with a female Kunari who is actually taller than him, but is built much more in a slender fashion. However, her horns go back, and actually there's 2 branches to them. They are huge. These are really, like, of the Kunari that you have seen, these are sizable. She has red hair and it's up into messy bun at the back, and they're both having a fairly serious conversation while they let people come in. The rest of you get to see this Avar woman who has like the back of a woman who can handle a giant warhammer. Let's just call it that. Because you need arms to be able to get those just going around. The dwarven woman, who still looks like she has a rather bitchy looking face on her. Just maybe that's just her face. Some people are just born that way. Hari is one of these sorts of people who just like,
Well, Hari, maybe you can be friends. You both have the matching face.
Yeah. 2 more. It seems that there were 4 in total, Kunari. There is the young one that you saw yesterday, Genevieve, who has this mess of dark curls, and the hair is like long enough that it's kind of covering his eyes, and he looks like, like that sort of like hunched behavior, even with tall people who are trying to make themselves look smaller and like, body language of don't talk to me. Another one who has white hair, it's a woman. who is currently sat on the sort of railings at the side of the ship with her feet up on top of a barrel, looking entirely too casual for someone who is sat on a ship. And then what you can now see is an elf who first comes out from one of the rooms and kind of spots that you guys are there. Very, very pale with white hair. And he has a burn scar on his face and sort of sees you, looks a little startled at first, and Hood immediately goes up and then slinks off to go and do what you're assuming is some duties. And that is the crew of Gomorden's Might. Some of them look like they are fairly welcoming. The tall woman, the Avar, well, I should need to specify because there's a couple tall women now, will kind of stride over to you, Genevieve, and kind of arms open at the rest of the crew. Aha, this is your group,
morning.
yes? Yeah?
Yes. Oh, and I'm
Yeah.
so glad to see the rest of yours.
Nice.
But yes, everyone. Did I get her name?
Nope. She'll kind of give you a big grin and be like, I am Bethilda, but you guys can call me Betty. It's,
Betty. Oh, you can call me Genevieve or Jen. Gosh, and you look beautiful even at the start of the morning. It's great. So these are my friends, my companions. Where can they put their stuff?
Oh, below deck. I'll show you. And she looks over her shoulder like she's about to pass that job off to someone else, and they all give her a I'm not doing that job.
Yeah, like we're not
She's
doing
like,
that.
You come with me. Come with me.
Thank you.
It's nice to meet
Everyone,
you all.
this is Betty. Everyone has
Yeah.
been so kind on the ship. Maybe I'll like that one, the one that flicked us off.
Yeah. Can I ask my mages, as you're kind of passing by and heading towards the stairs that will lead you down, can my mages roll magic rolls for me? Just straight magic, as you essentially vibe check the magic in the air. Because I imagine it's not. I mean, if you feel like your character isn't going to care that there's mages here, but I feel like it's something mages, by their very being and the world that they've had to be raised into, have to have that sort of like hyper vigilance with their surroundings, and information like this is useful. Okay.
Iviana,
Mm.
sorry.
Yeah, I specifically have an ability to just vibe check people too. By
You
the way.
You very specifically have emotional vibe checking. You're correct.
I do have emotional vibe checking. Yeah.
What was that about, Aviana?
Oh, she's trying to vibe check, but also this is an Aviana death trap of stairs that are slippery. For the non-dexterous mage is just
Oh.
like, don't fall, don't
Yeah,
fall,
no,
don't
Genevieve
fall.
would help you. Like, I
Yes,
think Genevieve is
your
very...
focus is elsewhere.
Well, I mean, like, because the thing is, I think she really tries to take care of Aviana.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think she would try to just be like, here's your hand.
Yeah, and as you guys kind of focus on that, it pulls Aviana's perception away from what is around. But the rest of you rolled really, really well. You will note that little elf that sort of vanished away, immediately you were picking up pretty strong, especially because a lot of the tie to the Fade is through emotions, and that sudden startled feeling at seeing you all, and then this immediately hiding and ducking away. I mean, but as he does it, that peak in emotion perhaps would have immediately caught your attention, as he is a mage. But interestingly, that tall Canary woman with the big horns and the red hair is also a mage.
Oh, cool. That's really interesting.
Canary mage, indeed.
Canary
and
mage that has no that has no Sarabas scars, none of the like. See, that's cool.
Yeah. And at that sort of like realization of not only are there mages here, which perhaps puts your mind slightly at ease for you, but again, the learned amongst you who will know about the Canary mage, which I know that obviously Matty's already mentioned. That's interesting, you think, as your minds are probably all pretty busy with various things as you head down, and those who are with your crew kind of come down with you. The non-mages obviously don't know that there's a vibe check going on because they can't feel it, but you were shown down into the belly of the ship, where there are multiple hammocks. Some have a slightly sectioned off area, but there's not necessarily rooms as such. And as you're able to come down here and contemplate this crew that you have found yourself a part of, at least for a couple of days, we are going to end our session there, everyone. On that little revelation. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I am going to give my little outro chit chat and let everybody else do theirs. And then I trust that my producer will send me bits and bobs I have to say at the end for our housekeeping. As for me, I am Emma, Hummel on the internet. I have been your GM for this fine session. In terms of where else you can see me, next week on Saturday, you can see me over at Belle's Twitch channel, where it'll be a finale of our Mass Effect game. They're going to be fighting a Thresher Maw on foot. It's very exciting. I'm sure everything will go great. Also this week, the channel The Transmissions will be getting premiered. On Tuesdays is another Dragon Age game where they are all itty-bitty regular people in Lothering, and the Blight is coming. Oh dear. And we also have a podcast audio drama that is set in rural Wales in the 70s. And I'm very excited about that one. That's one's Black Teeth. So stay tuned to my socials and everything else as that starts to unfold this week. As for the players, we can go the order that you did your intros. Hopefully you remember that order. And just tell who you are, who you've been playing, and where we can find you.
Absolutely. I am Torn. My pronouns are she, they. I was playing, or Genevieve. I almost said my other Dragon Age character. Genevieve, Devereaux, the Orlesian problem child. Her pronouns are she, her. As far as where you can find me, so this next week is a little bit of a busy one, but there's a lot of special stuff going on. So on Tuesday, I will be with Humalu in that Dragon Age game as a sad little rogue who has nothing. And then Wednesday, I will actually be on Horde of Tales, part of their Women in Gaming Month, which I am super excited and terrified for. I'm going to be on the Allura game, which is a rated R game, horror, like sci-fi space stuff. Totally scared. I'm scared of horror, but I'm wanting to do new things, so I'll be on there. And then on Friday on my Twitch, or sorry, Saturday on my Twitch page, we're actually doing a big charity event for the World Wildlife Fund. So if anyone like check that out, you can look at my Twitch page at Torin Talks Creativity. So I appreciate it.
Hey everyone, I am Val, or at Valdrians everywhere on the internet. And like Emma said, there's the finale on my channel next Saturday for Mass Effect. I don't play in it. I just hang out in the background in the call and like laugh at these people because they're wonderful. And then otherwise, this is the only place you will be able to find me until May-ish, because I'm moving in a couple weeks. I'm taking my spring break in April just to, not to get burnt out. But I do have things in the pipeline for the summer, and just follow me on my socials to figure that out. So, and now Theowen is a dog mom, and she's very happy about it.
I think it's me next. So, hi, everybody. I'm Mary. My pronouns are she, her. I played Viviana today. Her pronouns are she, her. Where you can find me, you can find me on the Hell site at Nerd on Wheels 15 or everywhere else at the Nerd on Wheels. Coming up for me this Monday, you can catch me on Lost Caravan RPG for a special one-shot of Fabula Ultima, a JTTRPG that is heavily inspired by Final Fantasy XIV. It's going to be a really fun time. Super excited for that. And then every other Monday, you can catch me on Lost Caravan on the alternating Monday for Lancer Hell's Gate, where I play a murder marshmallow, aka a teeny human that likes to blow things up. You can also catch me every other Wednesday over on Enchanting Sorcery Productions for Vandelver and Below, Halia's Harriers, where I play a rogue cleric with memory problems that just figured out what her god is now, which is terrifying. And that will be this coming week as well. And every Saturday, you can find me on Nerds with Dice for Masks the Puzzle Project and All Disabled Table, where a bunch of disabled superheroes are trying to save their little community after it had been totally gentrified. So go check that out. And everything I'm in, I usually post on social, so updates will be there.
Hi guys, I'm Alice. they, them pronouns. Today I was playing Floor, our little necromantic mage who also uses they, them pronouns. You can find me everywhere online at Alice Hart, or if the adult film star has stolen that username for me, you can usually find me otherwise at Hellion Hart. See. I'm entering just a little bit of a slow period because God knows I need to take a break. But next Sunday, you will find me on Lost Caravan playing Honey Heist for Easter. Don't tell me what bears and Easter have in common, but something I'm sure. After that, on April 3rd, yes, April 3rd, I'll be on Lost Caravan playing Pathfinder. I'll have to figure out a character for that. A few more things in the works, which you can find out on my social media. Otherwise, you can most reliably find me on the Actual Play Monster of the Week podcast. Welcome to Reddington. It's a queer little mess of a game, and we love it.
That sounds amazing. I'm Ella, pronouns she, her. I was playing Matty, a very angry, tired spirit healer. You can find me on the internet, on the various social platforms at GEJWatts. It's my initials. And I am currently releasing an audio drama that's a post-apocalyptic queer series inspired by Arthurian legends and folklore called Camlan. Episode 6 comes out tomorrow. I'm really excited about it. It's kind of a curveball. I am also part of the Horde of Tales Women in Gaming Month, and I am GMing a game next Thursday, which I'm excited about. It's called The Fall of Home. It's by Joe Winter, and it's all about a group of people who, for their own reasons, had to leave their home and are now returning to find it destroyed, and they kind of reminisce on what happened to it and why. Before moving on again. It's a belonging outside belonging storytelling game, and I'm really excited to run it. So,
Awesome. Thank you very much. And thank you to these wonderful players for this session. I look forward to more Thirst and Emotion on a boat. As for this channel, you can come back to us on Monday at 2 p.m. These times are Eastern, I believe. Wonder, Wet, and Weary among the members of the House of Rookwood with GM Maddie. On Wednesdays at 8 p.m. is Roll for Luck, which is the long-running anchor show for the Sapphic homebrew world of Amal Garth with Girls Run These Worlds founder Rayu as the Dungeon Mistress. It is great, definitely worth checking out. On Fridays, they have episode 4 of the high fantasy, high-tech, high-flying Numenera adventure, Erowin, on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern with our own Angela and also Tarn as a player. So it is worth checking that out too. As for us, normally we are going to be here on Sundays, but the next Sunday is the start of Go Dark Week on Girls Run These Worlds. So pay attention to socials for when that happens. They will be taking a week of quiet and peace. So yeah, keep tuned for that. So we won't be with you next week, but the week after that is when we will be on a boat, motherfuckers. And on that note, we are going to be doing a raid. So we are going to, let me double check, Dice Dragons Guild is where we are headed. So please stay tuned to give them some love in chat, everybody. And for us, we will see you in 2 weeks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.